Hey there, Mom. I found an odd amount of water pooled up on the ground underneath the laundry I hung out on the line before I left this morning. You went and poured buckets of water all over them, didn't you? Another thing, I made a big pot of beef stew to have for dinner tonight, but I can't seem to find the pot or the stew anywhere. I suppose this is your doing as well, yeah? Plus, it seems that someone has dumped the garbage from the garbage can all over the living room floor. Would you mind telling me exactly why you did all of that? You really want to know, Judy? You call yourself a housewife, yet feel entitled to completely abandon your responsibilities at home. You're supposed to be doing housework, not having luncheons with your friends. I did all the housework. I'm asking why you felt compelled to completely ruin all the housework that I did. You know, the laundry, cooking, and cleaning. As I just said, it's your fault for abandoning your responsibilities around the house. You left the house and it fell into ruin. You can't blame me for that. It wasn't a luncheon, and I wasn't gallivanting. I was going to take care of my mom in the hospital. I told you about this beforehand. I can't put all the burden of caring for her on my brother and his wife, so I'm going down to help out when I can to give them a break. Don't be ridiculous. Of course you can put it all on her. That's her job. She married into your family, didn't she? When you married into this family, you agreed to prioritize our needs over your old family's. That's what it means to be a wife. Your brother's wife made the same deal. And allow me to repeat myself, you're a housewife. What sort of housewife doesn't take care of the housework? You have a job to do here, and you'll do it or else. Allow me to repeat myself. I did do the housework. I did the laundry and hung it on the line. I made a big pot of beef stew for dinner. I cleaned the living room and vacuumed the floor. I did all of that. And then you came along and ruined everything I did. Do you have any evidence it was me? Yes. What? Did you forget? We have security cameras monitoring the house in every room. They've been there since before you moved in with us. You knew all about them. You mean you actually had those things turned on? Yeah. What good are security cameras if they're not on? That's an egregious invasion of my privacy. I'll be having a little talk with Jake about this. Go ahead. He's the one who told you about the security cameras, though, so I'm not sure how much good it'll do you. You'll get what's coming to you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get to work on redoing all the housework that I already did this morning, thanks to you. Also, I won't be able to have dinner ready in time, so I'm not sure where you are right now, but go ahead and get something for yourself on the way home. Unbelievable! Now you're slacking off on making dinner for us? I'm terribly sorry, but you and the friends you called over for lunch today ate all the beef stew that I was planning to have for dinner, so you'll just have to make do. You can't talk to me that way! Right now, that's the most civil language I can use with you. Impudent little girl, I am your mother-in-law! I'm done with this conversation. I want to get the housework done before midnight. Jake, your mother did it again today.
What?
She called her friends over for lunch today, and they ate up all the beef stew that I had made for dinner.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I saw it all on the security monitors. To add insult to injury, she even told her friends that she was the one who made it. She also dumped buckets of water all over the laundry that I had put out on the line to dry. And to top it all off, she dumped the garbage out all over the living room floor I had just vacuumed.
Unreal. She just moved in 3 days ago. I can't believe my mother would behave so childish.
On the first night, she threw the dinner I made away and said it was disgusting. Then yesterday, she told me I was folding the clothes wrong, so she threw them all out of the closet and made me fold them again. I know she's your mother, and I don't want to be disrespectful toward her, but... I mean, this is all just too much, right?
I'm so sorry, Judy.
Well, it's nothing for you to be sorry about. The apartment she was living in by herself burned down in a freak accident, leaving her with nowhere to go on short notice. What else were we supposed to do? We couldn't just kick her out onto the curb.
For now, I'll just tell her that she needs to sign a new lease and move out as soon as possible. Her apartment was pretty standard. It won't be too hard to find one that's on the same level. Be okay with it. We can help her out with moving in her initial expenses to help her move out of the house even sooner.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. If I knew exactly when she'll be leaving, it could make dealing with her a bit easier.
Again, I'm really sorry to be putting you through this. Let me know if anything else happens, okay?
Thanks, Jake. I'll do that.
I'm getting in the car right now. Do you want me to pick you up something on my way home?
You know what? That sounds absolutely fantastic.
What are you in the mood for? I was thinking tacos.
I'm fine with whatever you want to have.
Gotcha. Okay, see you in a bit.
Drive careful, Jake. I love you. I don't believe you, Judy. Are you actually going out again? How shameless can you be? A housewife who constantly refuses to do housework and goes out into town every day? I'm more disappointed in you than I can describe. I can't take any more of this. You think you can live off my son's hard-earned money while contributing absolutely nothing to the family, but I won't allow that to continue. You and Jake are getting divorced. Mom, what is wrong with you? You put all of my things down by the curb? And my key doesn't work. Did you actually change the locks on me? I can't get into the house. Oh, you finally came crawling back home, did you? I hope you had fun during your night on the town. Just when I started to think you couldn't possibly become any worse of a parasite, you go out and party the night away until morning. My mom had a major surgery yesterday, and I was staying at my parents' house overnight. I told you all of this beforehand, so I won't let you pretend that you didn't know. And that's all besides the point. Why did you throw all of my things down on the curb? You had better have a very good explanation for this. It's all very simple, Judy. I'm kicking you out of this house. What? What makes you think you have the right to kick me out of my own home? Your home? What on earth are you talking about? This isn't your home. Not anymore. I have no need for a housewife who's never around the house. Get out and never come back. I won't allow you to mooch off my dear son for one more second. Take your things and leave, you worthless parasite. Starting today, this house belongs to me and my son. Is that so? Well then, starting next month, your rent will be $3,500 a month. What?
Mom.
Oh, there you are, Jay. That awful Judy has lost her mind. You'll never believe what she just told me. When I told her I was kicking her out of the house, she told me I'd have to pay rent. And do you know how much she said rent was? $3,500. Oh, where does she get off? You'll have to be careful of her after the divorce, Jake. She'll try and come after your money again, I'm sure of it. I bet that whole rent nonsense is just her attempt to keep up her pampered lifestyle without having to work for herself for once. I don't know how she even thinks she could charge me rent at all. Oh goodness, what did you ever see in that girl?
I don't know, Mom. Seems pretty straightforward to me. When someone lives in your house, they become your tenant and you become their landlord. That's how real estate works.
Wait, what?
The house title's in Judy's name, Mom.
It's Judy's? What do you mean?
You tried to kick Judy out of the house to live there without her just now, didn't you? Well, if you want the owner of the house to leave the house, seems pretty obvious that you'd have to pay her rent.
That's ridiculous. The house is yours, isn't it?
Nope, it's not. Legally, the house belongs to Judy.
But, that's impossible. She doesn't work. All she does is leech off of your hard-earned money. How could she afford to buy a house?
Actually, Judy isn't a housewife. Not a full-time one, anyway.
You're not making any sense.
She manages apartment buildings and parking lots.
She does? Oh, this is the first I've ever heard of this.
She doesn't talk about it much because back when she started, she actually had to cut off ties with a couple old friends who that just because she was the building owner, that she would rent to them for free or cheap. Tell you the truth, I didn't even know about it until after I proposed to her. With her rental income, we decided that only one of us would need to work. When we started trying to have kids, she quit the office job she had been doing and just kept up her real estate business.
But she's asking for $3,500 a month. Isn't that insane?
Given the area and the size of the house, I say that's fair market value, honestly.
But I'm her mother-in-law. She can't take money from me.
Yeah, the thing about that is, yes, she absolutely can. She owns the house and gave you her terms. If you want to keep living there, pay her $3,500 a month. If you don't like it, there's only one thing for you to do. Move out.
Move out?
That was always the plan from the beginning, wasn't it? You said when you moved in that you'd only be living with us for as long as it took to get a new apartment.
Well, I was only saying that to be polite. I thought you'd be fine with me continuing to live here, well, permanently.
I did consider the possibility that things might turn out that way when you first moved in, yeah. But that all went out the window on the very first day when you started verbally abusing Judy before you even had your suitcases unpacked.
Verbal abuse? Oh, that's nonsense. I did no such thing.
If you really think you weren't being verbally abusive, all I can say is yikes. Judy wanted to stay out of it and let you find a new place at your own pace, out of respect for you as my mother and sympathy for your last place burning down. But now that you're trying to kick her out and take the house for your own, you've got to understand that anymore, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that you'll be able to keep living with us.
No, but, well then where am I supposed to go?
Figure it out yourself. You have a job, don't you? You have means. You're an adult. You're more than capable of finding and paying for your own apartment. Why are you so intent on living with us permanently?
Well, I sort of got fired.
You got fired? What the hell did you do, Mom?
I didn't do anything wrong. Not the way I see it, anyway. I mean, it's a big company, right? Oh, they had more than enough things like toilet paper, coffee, snacks. So I took some home with me from time to time.
Oh, no.
And then I started doing it more and more. They said if I paid the company back for the amount I took home with me, then they wouldn't press charges. And that ate through practically all of my savings.
You're lucky that's all they did to you. That's theft, Mom. It's a crime.
Really?
Yes, really. How could you not get that? I don't believe this. You treated Judy like she was a parasite when you were the one who was freeloading. Yep, there's no way I'm gonna let you live with us after this.
Oh, Jake, don't say that. How will I go on if I can't live here anymore? What am I supposed to do?
Find a job as a live-in maid or something, I don't know.
Jake!
Whatever you do from now on is no longer any concern of mine.
What are you saying?
I have a message from Judy for you. You can continue living in that house if you want, but I'm not budging on my terms. The price is $3,500 a month, no less. If you can't pay it, then I want you out of the house by the end of the month. End of story.
But, oh, you don't agree with her, do you?
Do I really need to ask? Yes, I am 100% on Judy's side in all of this, and I always will be.
Not you too, Jake.
If only you hadn't been so horrible to Judy, we might have at least helped set you up with a nice apartment somewhere nearby, or even allowed you to stay with us on a more semi-permanent basis. That's long gone now, though, and you have only yourself and your horrendous evil behavior to blame.
Jake, wait!
I always knew you had a bit of a self-centered side to you, Mom, but I never thought you'd do a thing like this. I'll come by to pick up my things from that house after you moved out as soon as you possibly can. Don't feel like you have to wait until the end of the month either. The sooner you're out of our life, the better.
Jake's mother's inability to consider the possibility that she was in the wrong seems to have been a recurring theme for her. Even her husband, Jake's father, had been putting up with her for years, and when Jake moved out of the house several years ago, he decided that the time was right and divorced her. On the very last day of the month, my mother-in-law managed to find a job with employee housing and rushed to move all of her things out of the house. It seems that a $3,500 rent was just a little bit above her budget. Isn't that a shame? As for Jake and I, we decided to rent out that house for some additional income. We're now living in a comfortable little condo that's right at the halfway point between my parents' house and Jake's office. Jake still gets texts from his mom on occasion, but all she ever talks about is how much she hates her job. Sometimes I come close to feeling sorry for her, but when I think about her awful behavior and total lack of remorse, I remember that she's getting exactly what she deserves. We haven't blocked her number, but that's just so we can keep tabs on her. We have no intention to involve ourselves with her ever again. Mac, we're breaking up.
Huh? What the hell? Where did that come from all of a sudden? Lexi? What's going on?
I just told you, didn't I? We're breaking up. The engagement is off.
Seriously, what the hell? You got me so off guard here, I don't even know what to say.
It might seem sudden to you, but I promise you, I've been thinking about doing this for a long, long time.
But we only have 2 more months until the wedding, Lexi.
Exactly. It's precisely because we're so close now that I had to stop and do some serious soul searching. When I thought about what kind of family we'd end up being, what our home life would be like, what kind of married couple we'd be, I've been doing all sorts of thinking about what our married life would look like, you know? And I'm sorry, Mac, but it's just not the life I imagined for myself.
Huh? Huh? How do you mean?
How should I put this? It's like, no matter how hard I try, I find it impossible to imagine us having a future together. Or rather, when I picture what my idea of happily married life looks like, you're not a part of it. I guess you could say I was finally honest enough with myself to accept that.
What are you saying?
It's important to have a vision for the future, you know? Especially when you find yourself stood on the precipice of one of life's major turning points. But when you're about to embark on a new start and you're already having major doubts, you have to stop and have a difficult conversation with yourself about whether it's truly what's right for you. Look on the bright side. At least we didn't actually end up getting married, so we both get to come out of the other side without becoming divorcees. So please, just agree to breaking off the engagement so we can both move on.
I'm gonna need some time for this, Lexi. This has all been so sudden, and I need some time to process everything you just told me before I can give you a proper answer.
Come on, Mac, is it really that difficult?
Nothing you say will change my mind. I need time to process this.
Fine, I'll give you 3 days.
Just 3 days?
Actually, I think I'm being pretty generous, because nothing you say will change my mind. Which means 3 days is a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. That said, I get that you're shocked, so I'm willing to compromise. I understand how you feel, so are you going to meet me halfway and consider my feelings too?
Fine, I'll message you in 3 days then.
Just remember that no matter how long you wait, nothing's going to change my mind.
Mac, I just saw the message you sent me last night. I'm so sorry I couldn't reply straight away, bro. I was on night shift and we're not allowed to take our phones outside the locker rooms while on the premises. Hey, Tony. Sorry for sending you such a weird message out of nowhere. Lexi dropped a bombshell on me and she said that she wants to break off the engagement and I didn't know who else to talk to about it. Don't sweat it. I'm your friend. And I wouldn't want you to go through this alone, so I'm glad you reached out to me. I'm sorry if I worried you. Thanks, buddy. I see. So is that why? Is that why? Listen, Mac, there's something about Lexi you should know. Huh? I'm sorry to tell you this when you've already got a broken heart, because it's probably going to sting a little. But you might want to deal with it immediately, so I don't really have a choice. Whoa, what is this? Whoa, what is it? You're scaring me now. This all happened about 2 months ago. I saw Lexi while I was on my way to work a few times, but every time I did, she was with some other dude. Huh? Wait, what? I saw them together in the same place every time. Every time I saw them, they were walking down the long street you come onto. Every time I saw them, they were walking down the long street you come onto after turning right out of McPherson Station. I'm pretty sure I don't need to tell you where that street goes, right? That's where all the hotels are. Bingo. The first time I didn't think anything of it. I figured she was probably just with some guy friend, and they just happened to be walking that way while on their way somewhere else. From the second time onwards, I had a bad feeling not only due to her being with the same guy again, but also they were way too intimate with each other just to be friends. I see. I'm sorry I waited so long to tell you, buddy. I just didn't know the right way to go about it. When I saw them again yesterday, I got super annoyed with myself for keeping it quiet all this time and swore to tell you. I was actually going to do it today. I can tell it's been eating away at you, Tony, and I'm sorry to hear that. Don't feel bad, okay? I understand why you didn't tell me. Thank you. What are you going to do next? Well, first of all, it's safe to say the engagement's officially off, and I'm going to need proof of the affair. But there's no doubt about it. Me and Lexi have been drifting apart for a long time. I always did my best to talk to her as much as I could, to make time for date nights and things, and I tried to make her happy, I really did, but for some reason, nothing seemed to work. She always just seemed so distant. In a way, I'm actually pleased, because now I know why. Now, I can happily break off the engagement. Mac, I get you want to put on a brave face, but it's normal for this to suck, you know? It's fine, really. Anyway, once the engagement's been canceled, I'll have to deal with the small matter of how to make sure Lexi takes full responsibility for what she did. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help out. I'm always here. I might just do that. Thanks, Broseph. Lexi, I've decided to break off the engagement.
Wow, really? Gee, thanks, babe. To be honest, I was kind of worried you'd dig your heels in and refuse. I'm really pleased you've decided to be a mature, responsible adult about it. Oh yeah, one more thing. As for letting everyone know we're breaking off the engagement, I think it's best we both tell our parents, friends, and all the people we invited to the wedding individually. There's no need to go making a big drama out of the whole thing, right? You've agreed to go along with the engagement, so let's deal with the rest quietly before going our separate ways for good.
You're right. That works fine for me for the time being.
Thanks for being so mature about us breaking up. To tell you the truth, I already found my new boyfriend. It's not easy being this much of a hit with the guys, you know. Anyway, I think we're just about done here. I'm so pleased that we were able to part ways on such good terms. Now it's time for a clean break. Woohoo! Bye-bye.
Mac, something crazy happened. You gotta hear this. What is it? It turns out the guy Lexi was cheating on you with is one of my coworkers. Wow, are you serious? Yeah, and get this. He has a reputation for being the most useless, deadweight blockhead at the company. He's such a pain in the ass that he routinely gets passed from department to department because no one wants anything to do with him. He just got assigned to my department today, so I finally saw his face for the first time. But I've been hearing rumors about him here for years. He's somewhat of a legendary figure at my company for being so damn useless. I thought he looked familiar when I saw him at morning call. Then I remembered he was the dude I kept seeing Lexi walking towards the hotel district. Wow, what are the odds? Now that I think about it, the street next to McPherson Station where I kept seeing him isn't that far away from my workplace. Obviously, I can't be sure, but I can say there's a pretty strong chance he's been meeting up with Lexi there after work for months. I see. Yeah, and that's not all. I don't know whether it's because he's trying to assert himself as the hotshot new guy in my department or whether this is just what he's always like, but he literally didn't stop bragging about himself all day. He even mentioned you and Lexi. What? Well, let me be clear. He didn't specifically say your names, but he was bragging about how he stole some loser's fiancée and making himself out to be this huge stud in front of all of the female employees. Then he went around the whole office showing everyone a photo of him with Lexi before jumping on my desk and playing air guitar while spinning his head around like some wannabe rock star and yelling, "Don't challenge the stallion," at the top of his voice. Wow, are you for real? Sadly, yes. It turns out instead of totally being dead weight at the office, he's also a total jerk who thinks stealing another dude's girl is something to brag about. Does this guy have mental problems? That was my first thought, but then I realized that would be an insult to people with mental problems. The guy's something else. I'm pretty sure it became universally hated in my department within 5 minutes of meeting everyone. What's his name? Bartholomew Abe. What? What is it? No way. Unless I'm thinking of someone else with the same name. Which, let's face it, is pretty unlikely. That's the jerk who used to bully everyone at my high school. No way. Seriously? Hang on a sec. Could it be? I think this could be his way of getting revenge on me for what happened back then. Revenge? To cut a long story short, he had a crush on my cousin. He wouldn't stop following her around school, writing her love letters and asking her out on dates. But she wasn't interested, so I kind of ended up becoming her bodyguard. I often used to hear about how much he hated me for it, but since I was bigger than him and trained Wing Chun, he never had any balls to say anything to my face. Wow, I see. Anyway, if it really is him, I have a little trick up my sleeve. What are you gonna do? Me and him both grew up in the same town and we know a lot of the same people, which means gathering information on him is gonna be a piece of cake. I see. Alright, that sounds promising. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll pretend I don't know you and feign ignorance if he starts boasting about stealing Lexi again. Yeah, could you? That'd be great. Sorry you got dragged into this crap, bud. If you find out anything else, it'd be great if you could let me know as soon as possible. You have nothing to be sorry for, Mac. And sure, of course.
Mac, what the hell is this letter that just showed up at my mom and dad's place? You better start explaining right now. Why in God's name would I pay you compensation? Not only that, but why in the crap would I cover all the wedding expenses?
Which part don't you understand? Isn't it obvious? You're the one who called off the engagements, so why would you get out of footing the bill?
What are you talking about? Why should I pay you compensation when we didn't even get married? Are you stupid?
I should be asking you that. This was hardly a regular breakup, was it? We had the wedding venue booked, invites sent, a band hired, a cake ordered, your dress, my tux. We had everything in order, Lexi. The wedding company explained in advance there'd be a cancellation fee of the quoted amount plus 30% in the event of a cancellation within 3 months of the wedding day. Not only did the representative explain in person when we went in, but we both signed a contract and received email copies of the terms and conditions.
Huh?
I went through all of the cancellation procedures myself. And not only that, but I had to borrow the money from elsewhere because I didn't have enough left after spending so much on the wedding. Obviously, I was going to bill you for everything when you're the one who called off the engagement. Am I doing something wrong here? Please feel free to go through my messages again and pick fault if I'm mistaken somehow, because I assure you I'm not.
Fine. Well, what about the compensation?
You can still claim compensation without getting married, you dummy.
Wait, what? No way. You're lying.
Not only that, but you cheated on me.
What? No, I did not.
Sorry, Lexi, but you're not going to be able to lie your way out of this one. I put the proof of the affair, including pictures of you being intimate with your lover in public, in a separate brown envelope inside the compensation bill letter.
No way. That's what's in the envelope?
Get back in touch with me once you've taken a look inside if you dare.
Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. How did you find out?
Shall I be completely honest with you?
Tell me!
I'm so sorry. I almost fell over laughing when I realized how easy you made it to collect proof you were cheating on me.
What?
You do know that your lover, Bartholomew Abe, was in my class in high school, right?
Sure I did, but so what? What's your point?
So you should have known he was the most hated guy in my entire neighborhood too, right?
Huh?
Not only that, but he was also hated by the very kinds of people you do not want to make enemies of. Which is why when I headed back into town and enlisted the help of some of my old friends in the form of calling in some favors with their connections, I had enough evidence to prove the affair 10 times over within just a few days.
It was really that easy?
Come on, Lexi, face reality. Even without the help of my friends, it was never going to be difficult to prove he was going around bragging to everyone who'd listen about how he'd stolen Max's fiancée and was now officially the superior male. He even posted photos and videos of you both together in the office group chat.
God damn it, that moron. Are you being serious right now?
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Bartholomew wouldn't happen to have stopped messaging you these last few days, would he?
Well, yes. I thought it was just because he's busy since getting moved to a new department at work.
I have some friends who work at one of the office buildings outside the hotel district near McPherson Station. They gave me several witness accounts reporting seeing him going into one of the hotels with a young blonde a total of 5 times over the last 2 days.
Wait, what? Bartholomew with another woman? But why? Why would he do this to me? I thought we had something special. You've got to be kidding me. I broke off my engagement for that asshole.
There's one more thing you should know. Apparently, Bartholomew's uncle found out about his nephew's misdeeds for the first time yesterday, as well as kindly agreeing to shoulder the burden for the compensation his nephew's gonna owe me. He also drove him out to a remote mountain temple run by a small group of Shaolin monks who operate a rehabilitation facility for violent criminals, ex-drug addicts, and other various breeds of social misfit. Something tells me you won't be hearing from him again.
What?
Anyway, I think we're pretty much done here. Make sure I get my compensation and repayment on the wedding expenses sooner rather than later, okay? My lawyer's on standby, should I need him.
Oh my god, is this real life? How can you just keep springing extra crap on me? I don't even understand what's happening anymore.
A few days after our last messages, Lexi's parents showed up at my place and apologized profusely for their wayward daughter's sickening behavior and cheating on me and breaking off the engagement. They told me they took all the savings from her bank account and sold all of their possessions in an effort to come up with some money. With that, they lowered their heads in shame and handed me an envelope containing the exact amount I requested in the invoice I sent before going home. Sadly, I can't say Lexi responded in as dignified and responsible a fashion as her parents. Apparently, she still carried on claiming to be the victim in the whole thing and showed no signs of repenting for her behavior. At their wits' end, and having heard about Bartholomew's uncle sent him to the mountain temple for rehabilitation, Lexi's parents decided to enter her into a monastery for 2 years in the hope that the nuns there would teach her how to be a decent human being. As for Bartholomew, of course his departure for the mountain temple meant he left my company. I got the funniest text from my boss a few days later. Apparently, as soon as it was announced that Bartholomew was leaving, the entire office erupted into thunderous cheering and applause. To be honest, even having him around for the short space of time we did was a huge pain in the ass for all of us. Which is why me and 2 of my co-worker buddies have decided to go on a guy's vacation to Mexico to decompress.